The Kaspa community is incredible. What has been achieved here is absolutely insane. That's why, beyond Kaspa. Hey, and welcome to Crypto. Yeah, why am I wearing a soccer jersey that even has Kaspa on it? We'll talk about that in a moment, and of course, I'll show you where you can get one. So it's worth sticking around. We have a lot of topics to cover, so let's get started. Everything is positive except for the current price. The Kaspa price is moving sideways, that's clear. Even if it might look a bit more negative right now, just take a look at the regression channel. So the green and the red here, the regression channel is clearly moving sideways. Just for fun, a while ago, I drew a line here. This is the daily chart we're looking at here. And I said we could break out here. The breakout actually happened quite well, at least from this line. Normally, you would draw a triangle here, something like this. Yeah, it would probably look more like this, roughly. And then at the latest, the breakout would happen here, but it actually happened here. And since then, we've been moving along this line again, as you can see here. So currently, the price isn't doing what it's supposed to, nor what would encourage the community. At the moment, the community is actually doing very, very well in terms of posts and also actions, but the price just isn't cooperating right now because, of course, everyone is waiting for the topic of when the next exchanges will come. When will we maybe see an OKX, a Coinbase, a Binance? So major exchanges that are still missing here, which could potentially bring another upswing, because Kaspa is on everyone's lips and is being talked about a lot, with many community actions currently taking place. At the moment, the price isn't really moving upward, despite everything happening around Kaspa, especially on everything going on and what's happening right now. It's worth sticking with the video. Currently, the price is at 7.5 cents and a bit above. So these are basically buying prices. And if you're fundamentally convinced by Kaspa and say, I want to buy more KAS, then for example, buy KAS on Bitget. Bitget is really, really good for this. They offer very simple options like depositing euros. Let's say you want to deposit 500 euros. Then when this is deposited as USDT, the current euro to dollar rate is very favorable. But you can also use other currencies. If you're from a country outside the EU, you can choose from a wide range of currencies here. You can deposit these as USDT, for example, via Visa or MasterCard, and then simply buy KAS here. Right now, the chart isn't loading, but everything works normally here. Buying and selling KAS is really easy here, along with almost 1,000 other cryptocurrencies they have available. Of course, you can also trade long and short. Strangely enough, the chart works for that. You can trade long and short with up to 20 times leverage. Right now, the chart has crashed again, which is really bad for this video. But besides regular spot buying, actually buying Kaspa, maybe even sending it to your hardware wallet or trading Kaspa long and short here, Bitget also offers other cool features like the ability to complete daily tasks. Log in daily, quickly claim your points. You get a few points as a gift every day. For example, this is really easy to do every day in the app. And for certain tasks you see here, you get additional points as well. What can you do with these points? You can convert them into futures credits. For example, you can convert them into credits. For example, 1 USDT costs 200 points and up to 5,000 USDT apparently costs 500,000 points. So it's quite a lot, but if you're active every day, do a bit of trading, complete these tasks, and very important, claim your points, you can really score big here. And what's also interesting is that they're a La Liga partner. So if you want to win something from La Liga or a Bitget ball, for example, here, for 10,000 points, you can get a nice Bitget ball. Or for example, a Bitget X, a La Liga jersey. So claiming points every day is worth it, and signing up with Bitget is also worthwhile. With the link in the video description or the pinned comment, you support this channel and you also get additional bonuses, such as sign-up bonuses. If you register there, you'll be directed to a bonus page, so you can get even more bonuses for completing tasks in addition to the points. Have fun and good trades on the exchange Bitget. The Kaspa community has pulled off something really big. They managed to create real-time TPS. And this is the screenshot that most people shared because it was the highest, 4,757 TPS, which was the maximum achieved in real time. That means 4,757 transactions per second. That's really incredible. And what was accomplished here is what I already talked about in the last video, namely on September 28th. Everyone was supposed to transfer a bit and we set new transaction records. And that's exactly what happened. And this transaction record is just insane. Now you might think I can't really see it that well. No problem. 1 week. Take a look at this curve. These are the transactions in a single day. So, within 24 hours. And it was said on September 28th, or rather September 28th, we're going to set a record. And this record was really achieved. Just take a look at this. The transactions on that single day, in other words, transactions within 24 hours, were at 63,200,000, at least according to this count, 63.2 million transactions in 24 hours. That is absolutely insane. And what do you need for that? Active addresses, just look at this. Active addresses within a week. That's exactly what happened, of course. Namely, active addresses. 258,000 active addresses and more participated in this event. Incredible. And of course, all of this also generated TPS, which we can see here. The maximum TPS reached here was 4,470. And that's just absolutely insane what happened here or what this community achieved. The community really went all out here. So this is absolutely insane. And if you take a look at the fees, if you ask, what does all this cost? All these transactions, the fees barely move. So the transaction fees are still incredibly, remarkably low on the Kaspa blockchain, making it a very attractive and efficient platform for all users. So for anyone who participated in this transaction history, in what was achieved here, as I said, the fees hardly changed at all. We can see that here. If we look at the week again, there was a minimal increase. Yeah, simply because a lot was transferred. But in general, this transaction count, what was achieved here, we can take a look over 6 months. This breakout is just insane. So the community has done something here that's incredible. And we can also see that when we go to KAS, and then we see it there as well. Active addresses and transaction count, in other words, transaction counter. It's incredible what has happened here. And a record has been broken here. Solana always held a record. And that record was 10 million transactions per 24 hours. And that record has been broken, friends. It's insane. Within 24 hours, Kaspa managed 60 or even over 60 million transactions. And the crazy thing is, the network held up. When Solana did that, the network crashed. Friends, this is something truly special that's happened here. So, they've just shown here what Kaspa is capable of achieving. And all of this, from regular wallets to even hardware wallets, took part in this. If you want a hardware wallet branded with Kaspa, then check out the Tangem cards here. There are now fewer than 1,400 of them available. With the code CryptoEule, you get a 10% discount. And if you say, look, the card is nice and all, but I actually want a ring instead, it's currently on sale. This Tangem ring is beautiful and a lot of people want it. Right now, it's $120. You get 25% off, 10% with the code CryptoEule, and 15% with the code 15OFF ring. But you can simply use the link in the video description. Both codes are stored there and you can use them here. Whether you want to buy regular Tangem sets, the green one is also close to Kaspa if you say you do not need a Kaspa logo, and you can save 10% here. And for the ring specifically, it is currently 25% off. And the Kaspa card is still available with 1,400 or now even fewer than 1,400 pieces left. With the green Kaspa Tangem. And that was just incredible what was achieved here. The community pulled together. The community said, we're going to do this. And the community really accomplished something amazing here. There was something else as well. And there was something very special too. Asplex launched their second layer. And that was the approach to bring new tokens to the market again. And something big happened here, specifically on Kaspa here. Several new features have been added. Now you can also buy completely new tokens here. For example, you can simply use the Layer 1 marketplace. So what do we have on Layer 1? The NFTs. The NFTs are also available here. So if you want to trade NFTs, you can do that here. But on Kaspa.com, we also find the tokens. And when we go to tokens, for example, we go to launch.defi when we land on Kaspa.com. And then we end up here at the tokens. And here we see a whole lot of new tokens. And here we can also see the chart progression. So they've really done a great job revamping everything. Now you can really trade well here. For example, here is Donatello. Donatello, that sounds very German. Now also available here in the chart. It was able to rise quite well. And there are even some tokens still available. We can see that here. With the process, currently only 30% are in circulation. Then here we have the BTC Maxi Tiers, which has also gone up. It's also had a good run. We can see that here as well. It's now completely mined out. And you can easily connect by linking your wallet, for example. You can simply use Wallet Connect to connect here with the Tangem app. So, a Tangem hardware wallet, that's your cryptocurrency on your hardware wallet, and you can even do DeFi here. It might be that they don't show up in the Tangem app, but that's not a problem. When you connect here, they will be displayed on your wallet via your hardware wallet. With the hardware wallet, you can still confirm the transaction, even if you don't see it in the Tangem app. But Tangem is working on that as well. Because Tangem is a big supporter of the Kaspa blockchain, Then, for example, you can simply say here, I want to swap 50 KAS for this token, for instance. But I don't want to advertise any particular token right now. As you can see, there are simply a lot of them. And they're all active here. Then you can always check where they're active. Is it more of a DEX? Is it PAMP? Just a small category like that. And if you click on this project, you'll always see a few details and what's currently happening there. And also very interesting, the token holders. So who holds here? Which wallet holds the most? For example, here there's a wallet that identifies itself as the DEX wallet, holding 30% in this case. Then there's someone here with 23%, which is a private individual again. Here's a burn address. And here is the devlog. They also have another 5%. And then you can always see how the distribution of these tokens is really nicely done. And as I said, you can swap here very easily. For example, if you say, I'll get myself some KAS and just do a bit of trading here, you can do that by, as mentioned, signing up and connecting. And what's also interesting is that all wallets were available here. So if you click on it, there's MetaMask or even OKX wallet, Binance wallet, Bitget wallet. So there are really a lot of wallets available here that you can easily connect with. With these Kaspa.com tokens, or rather the ones you can buy here. Yes, and there's definitely a lot happening here. And these are the first layer 2 smart contracts that are being added here with the new tokens. And these smart contract tokens are happening on this new layer 2, or rather, they are currently listed here as layer 2 projects. Zillow Swap, let's go to the site, to the website, and then we can see all these tokens. You pay with KAS, and then you receive all these different tokens that are available here so far. Available here. We'll find the BTC Maxitis here again, and we'll also find others that you can buy here. These are the websites that are available for this so far. Then there's Kaspa, where there are again completely different ones, or in this case fewer, like yellow. And then we see LFG Kaspa again, where there are also some tokens available. That's the platform I just showed you. So these are already the smart contracts. There's also a CC KAS here. So you can see memes are definitely active here. Binance listing friends. So if you want a Binance listing, then you have to buy this token. No, just kidding, of course. But as you can see, a lot is happening here and there's a lot coming our way in this area. Tokens, as well as the platforms that make all of this possible. These layer 2s on the Kaspa blockchain. And now we still have one more question to answer. What's up with this jersey I'm wearing? There's actually another one of these and it looks like this. And you're probably wondering what's the story behind all of this, or how did we come together, or how did this all happen? Well, it was the year 2023. It was the Champions League final between Inter Milan and Manchester City. And yes, someone thought, hey, let's do something special for this Champions League final, Kaspa jerseys. Take a look at this. This is what they look like. You can buy them right now. They cost 49 euros plus shipping and any additional fees. You can buy them, they're slim fit, which is important. They actually look pretty good and you can order them. And here, this is what it looks like in the shop. You can get started with the whole thing. And maybe you can see it down here. I'll show it to you again on camera. And there's something special about these jerseys. There are only 340 of each one. It's not a custom order where each one is numbered 1, 2, 3, and so on. Instead, each one says 1 of 340 pieces. So that means each jersey only exists 340 times. 340 of this one, 340 of that one. So you're getting a limited edition jersey here. That's a cool thing. So if you want to get this, feel free to stop by the shop. You can of course find links to these in the video description. And who knows, maybe we can give away another jersey like this soon. But you see, I have both here and we'll be wearing the other one soon. And here's a nice one. Kasper layout or trailer. So very cool jerseys. Feel free to write in the comments which one you like better. Blue black or more baby blue. So Manchester City or Inter Milan. Which one do you prefer? Let us know in the comments. We've seen big projects like Hyperliquid and Asta making moves in DeFi or liquidity staking and everything that's happening there. And now Kaspa has that too. There's a project called the Casta protocol. This is what it looks like. They want to build quite a bit here, starting with a staking protocol launch. That's what made Hyperliquid stand out. And Astra basically replicated it on the Binance blockchain. So the first topic here is the staking protocol, or rather liquidity protocol. I'm curious to see what comes of it. They say themselves, we were born as a meme and are now becoming a big movement. I'm really interested to see what comes next with Casta. That's what the whole thing is called, Casta. You could say that, yes, we copied that from Asta. In the end, you could say that yes, because the X account has only been around since August 25th. So that means it could be that they copied it from the name. The first hype around this project was on 25. And then there was the sale, or rather, profit taking, because the whole thing works perfectly here via lfg.kaspa.com. And as always, for everyone who says he shows me so many things, all the links in the video description, just like in every video. And then, for example, you can also trade with this project here, or rather buy and sell tokens, and soon there will also be a staking protocol launch, or here I think liquidity staking. Ask me anything, there's a lot more to come, they have big plans here. You can see it here. So here's the first project I can show you that's active on Kaspa and has big ambitions. Kaspa always has big plans anyway, so Kaspa is always up to something. And now something interesting has happened, namely Nick Szabo. And everyone who truly knows me well knows that Nick Szabo is, for me, without a doubt, the individual person I most strongly associate with the enigmatic figure of Satoshi Nakamoto. Personally, I would confidently say that Nick Szabo could very well be Satoshi Nakamoto himself. And I've said this many times before in several podcasts, videos, and calls. Nick Szabo, because Satoshi Nakamoto is written the other way around in Japanese or Chinese, and the initials of Nick Szabo reversed, SN, Satoshi Nakamoto, is a clue, but it doesn't really mean anything. But these are all little things that always make me say Nick Szabo could be Satoshi Nakamoto. And he has commented on BlockDAG. Yeah, no joke, here you can see it. And I think BlockDAG has great potential in the future. But you always have to keep in mind, Bitcoin is the king, and that's not going to change. And this topic, so here's that tweet about it again, is really exciting. So, Nick Szabo once inquired about Kaspa here and asked how many nodes are running there. And in the course of that, on the 28th, so yesterday after these transactions were so high, he commented on it again here, and that was the most popular response, or rather, tweet as you can see here, 120,000. So from this conversation he had here, and there he made it very clear once again that he sees great potential in BlockDAGs. And yes, I'm really curious to see what will come of it. And regarding this question, how many full nodes are there on Kaspa? The founder, or more or less the founder, or rather the protocol author of Kaspa, commented on this. Namely, Jonathan Sambulinsky, he commented on it here. Currently, of course, there aren't that many nodes, but that's understandable. It's still a relatively young project. Not as many nodes as with Kaspa. We can see that here as well, current nodes. Where do we see it? Current nodes, public nodes 94. Earlier, there were 100, but some have been shut down. Yes, here, some went offline during that time. In any case, earlier there were just over 100. Now there are 94 that are currently active. And that's simply what we see. That's what the network looks like right now. The network, if we take a look at it. Yes, of course, most nodes are version 1, but there are already some on the newer versions as well. Historical view, here we see 183 nodes, and you'll keep seeing that. It's simply related to this. Depending on where the sun is shining at the moment, people turn their nodes on or off. Many people just let them run all day. But here you can see, these spikes often occur in the regions where the nodes are located. They are powered by photovoltaic electricity, and when the sun is out, people turn their nodes on for a few hours, which is why these spikes keep happening. That's why, as I said just now, there were over 100, and right now there are 94 in this case. Yes, and Jonathan Sambulinsky has written quite a bit about this, but unfortunately, Nick Szabo hasn't responded to this answer anymore. Maybe there will be more to come, but it's already very interesting that Nick Szabo, who is a very early participant in the Bitcoin community, wants to find out more about Kaspa with this tweet, where he simply asks what's going on or what is possible with Kaspa. So what's actually happening there right now? And of course, it's a new project, a young project, so you can't just go and say, yes, they already have thousands of nodes. The project needs to grow first, and not everyone is a node operator after all. There was also another interesting tweet here from, well, the account is called Vlad Hosts the Best Podcast in Bitcoin. Maybe you know him. The podcast has 20,000 views and it's in English. And he wrote about this again here, namely, Nick Szabo is returning for the first time in 4 years. That's really special. He is inquiring about the compromises of Kaspa and the Ghost deck. And in the process, hashtag, or rather Jonathan Sambulinsky and Shai also commented on it. I'm really curious. Maybe they'll soon appear in an interview on the Best Bitcoin podcast. At least that's what he says himself. Wow. A lot of topics, a lot of things happening here. A community. A community that is really going full throttle, that is delivering on its promise, or rather its bet, its, well, how should I put it, its intention to prove that Kaspa can process many transactions in 24 hours and to show how much real-time TPS, which is very important. Many people just do a few thousand transactions on the testnet and say, look here, 100 million TPS, that's what we can do. But real-time TPS on the mainnet, yeah, I don't think there are that many who can do that. Of course, some will be higher, but not many are running these kinds of tests. And this was done on Kaspa by the community. It's incredible what has happened here. And all of this was done with hardware wallets too. No matter if it's a Tangem ring, a Tangem wallet, a ledger, or whatever else is out there, it's just incredible what has happened here. And just imagine, you create a second wallet. We also saw that the number of active addresses was extremely high, or the spike was extremely big. What happened there? You simply create a new address and then just send a bit of KAS back and forth from one to the other, KAS back and forth over and over. And in the end, maybe you lost 2 KAS in fees after making 1 million transactions. So thanks to the low transaction fees, this was really something special for the community here. What Nick Szabo wants here, or why he's inquiring about it, is definitely interesting. But we'll have to wait and see whether he really means it seriously, or if, after looking into it more, he might end up criticizing Kaspa, saying he found a mistake or something like that. I can't really imagine it, but it's possible. Anything is possible. So it's very exciting that someone considered to be Satoshi Nakamoto, namely Nick Szabo, is communicating here with a protocol founder of Kaspa, that is Jonathan Sambolinski, or rather Nick Szabo hasn't replied to Jonathan yet. Maybe that will still happen. In any case, we'll definitely keep following this story. These were definitely incredibly interesting news events that happened here. Smart contracts are here with Layer 2. We've seen a whole lot of new tokens. NFTs that have also been transferred or bought again, at least a little bit. And Nick Szabo plus this massive transaction volume with over 60 million transactions in 24 hours. Wow, incredible! I'd like to say thank you to everyone who tuned in here. Many thanks to everyone who signs up for Bitget through our link, who buys a Tangem wallet with the code CryptoYule, and to everyone who might have seen this cool Kaspa jersey here, just go ahead and buy it. I saw them at the Kaspa event in Berlin. I thought they were cool. I got connected with the manufacturer. We had a quick chat. Of course, I like to wear something like this because it's really cool. And my green Kaspa t-shirt. Unfortunately, you can't buy that anymore. So I can show it to you, but I can always say, haha, you can't buy it. But at least you can buy these jerseys. All links, all information, everything I showed here in the video, as always, is in the video description. With that, thank you very much for watching and see you in the next video.